Hi, I'm Tina Trenner, and I'm here with Dennis Hoff, and this is Pahrump Now. We've got some great things to talk about today because Pahrump is amazing, isn't it?
I love Pahrump.
I do too. I love it.
I'm proud to be here.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to do this show every week, and we're inviting everybody. And we invited Sheriff Worley today. She might stop by. We invited all the candidates. I want you to be involved in this. I want you to tell us what you want. And if you just go to DennisHoff.com, or email me, askdennis@DennisHoff.com, and that's DENNISHOF, 1F. Ask Dennis. We're gonna give you what you need. If you don't like what we're saying, tell us. We might have you come in and explain yourself. And
that's a great idea, Dennis, because it's a way for the community to step up and be part of what's going on.
Exactly. So, if you don't like what we're saying, or you don't like me, come on in here. Let's do something. I don't mind. I know not everybody's going to like me, but I want them to know me before they say that. And there's too many people that assume things that are just totally wrong.
Total assumptions.
Total assumptions.
We learned years ago not to make assumptions,
yeah,
but we do it anyway.
What do you do? What they say? What you assume means make an ass out of you and me.
That's really the truth.
So anyway, we did our first show last week. This is our second show, and I'm just excited. We haven't really planned much of anything, but I do have some things to go over. You know, number one, I got like 10 people in the last week tell me about a letter that our Commissioner Wickman from the about getting rid of the horses.
Yeah.
So what's your now? First of all, let me tell you, I'm a little biased here because I love the wild horses. At my place in northern Nevada, the Bunny Ranch, they've been coming there since 1850. It was a stop on the Pony Express Trail. The horses know there's water. I put water out for them because I don't want them crossing the highway and going down to the river and getting killed. So I'm a horse lover. Okay, so if you don't like that, you might as well turn off now because I do love the horses, and I know Tina does. But give me your take on Lorinda's letter. I mean, I don't.
Well, it was about the sage grouse. I mean, the thrust of the letter was about the sage grouse. But in her letter, she explained that she wanted to cooperate with the federal government as much as she could. She just put her arms around them, and then she said that the horses had no economic value and she wanted them gone. And that was what was so crass to me, was they have no economic value. Well, you know, not everything in this world has to have an economic value. There are some things that have wonderful value and they don't, you know, they don't have economic.
Let me tell you, the value to me is it's part of the heritage of Nevada.
Yes.
And I love these horses. I know Michelle Fiore, is our dear friend from Las Vegas, county supervisor, has worked hard on it, and a lot of very prominent people and that love the horses. We love the horses. So as far as economic value, I'm calling BS, Lorinda, BS. The horses were here before us. They need to be here. It's just how we're going to manage them. Now, I'm not a big BLM fan, although I'm going to be open-minded and let them prove to me that they're good people. But I see too many things that they do wrong.
They've proven themselves
and the fish and game people, look what they've done to our friends, the Fuentes, the Patch of Heaven church camp. They've destroyed it. And I think you all need to get involved and understand what's going on because it's just the beginning. We've got too much government in Nevada. We need to either straighten out or back off the fish and wildlife, especially in Patch of Heaven, because I'm on that one. I'm on that one big time. I've got my Washington connections pushing on that one. And the BLM. Let's talk about the horses. But
the horses are mismanaged. I've been in the horse business my whole life. It is just a matter of managing them correctly. They're not French poodles. They need to be handled as horses, but they need to be managed properly.
Now there's a thing called AML. And this, my good friend, the smartest county commissioner ever, which I'm not going to mention a name, just told me about this AML that's managing the horses. And we just have to have a proper balance. So what's the problem? Well, there's not enough water for the horses. Well, you know what? Drill some wells. Well, we can't drill wells because it would cost a fortune to do the surveys on the land and this and that. Well, bull. Circumvent that. So I'm going to have Grover Norquist, the head of Americans for Tax Reform, my dear friend, who's coming back to Pahrump to support me. I'm having him come out. He's going to get a hold of Zinke, the head of whoever runs the Interior Department of the Interior, and we're going to work on this because the Fuentes need their water. Let's get the church camp back up and running. And this isn't a religious thing with me, but these are my friends, and this is my pasture, and I want their water back. They've destroyed this property, and they're full of crap. And the federal government needs to pay for this and right this wrong. Ed Goodhart, our dear friend, 3-time assemblyman, honorable guy, has fought that war with them, and I'm fighting it now. So, exactly. So BLM, you got to listen up. Let's be reasonable with these horses, because I don't want them to go away. Whatever we got to do. I don't know whether this is a fight between the ranchers and the horses, and the horses are eating too much of their food. I don't know what it's about, but I want these horses here. It's a part of Nevada culture and history, and it is a tourist attraction, whether you like it or not. People look for these horses along the side of the road, and they need to be managed properly. So if there's too many horses...
It's a numbers game, Dennis.
Well, the BLM's answer, and they won't admit this, but their answer is take them to the glue factory.
Oh, that's exactly what they want to do.
And by the way, Obama was the one that signed back in so you could have slaughterhouses in Nevada. Bull. They're not going to be slaughtering these horses when I'm on my watch, and I'm going to fight that one. I will fight. And I think you all know that. I think you know that I've got 4 federal lawsuits against Butch Boraski, Dan Shinhoffen in Nye County. Well, I'm going to fight for you the same way. They're not taking away my rights, and they're not taking away yours. So I need to hear from you to know what the problems are to help fix them. Ask Dennis at DennisHoff.com. So the horses, yeah, why not have a sterilization program? Why not slow down the breeding?
Well, let's just put it this way. 2,000 years ago, the Romans found out how to manage horse numbers. They castrated the horses. And that was the end of their problem with having. I mean, it's so simple.
So BLM, let's get a little history lesson and see what the Romans did, and do the same thing. Just look at, I've had a vasectomy. Give them a vasectomy.
That's right.
So I can still enjoy themselves, but not reproduce.
I just lost my microphone. How did that happen?
Well,
I don't know. My blouse is too slim.
So anyway, that's my answer to it. But Wickman,
was it cold,
you need to explain.
Cold, yeah.
Lorinda, you need to get in here and explain to this. And I don't want to be on camera with you, especially because I think you and I would argue because you've been trying to put me out of business for a year. And I think it's because you're a puppet for somebody else. But anyway, you and Tina talk it out. But explain to yourself, explain to the viewers, to the voters of Nevada that voted you, you want to get rid of the horses? You want to get rid of our culture? What's next, gambling? You're trying to put the brothels out of business?
Definitely trying to put the brothels out of business.
Yeah. You want liquor to go away? What's in a perfect world for you? Well, Nevada, guess what, Lorinda? Nevada is about freedom. Freedom to gamble 24 hours a day. I don't gamble. Freedom to drink 24 hours a day. I don't drink. Freedom is to smoke weed. I don't do that. It's freedom to carry my gun, and freedom to speak out against people like you that want to get rid of our horses. So get in here and explain yourself to the folks if you have the nerve. You didn't have the nerve when they stood up at the county commissioners meeting 2 meetings ago and lined up to chastise you. You and dirty Dan Shinhoffen walked off. And I give Butch Boraski credit because he
right there and took it.
He took it like and you know what?
He took it like a man.
That gave me a couple more points in his favor. I would almost consider wrapping up the lawsuit against him just because he was man enough to do that.
Yeah, he was honorable, and he took the heat. And in case you didn't know, in case you didn't see what happened, I mean, there were a lot of people. They were lined
40
up.
deep.
Yeah, it was just eyeball deep with people. And as soon as they started speaking, Lorinda and Dan Shinhoffen got up. And to me, this is just a spit in the face.
Yeah.
We are a constitutional republic. We have representatives. Our representatives are not dictators. They are supposed to listen to the people and represent us. Instead, they left and just walked right out and didn't want to hear anything that any of us said except Butch.
Except Butch.
Sat there and took it.
And I got to give him credit for that. But I'll tell you what, the way I look at it, and I hope the voters look at it the same way, is we pay them.
That's right.
To be there. They're getting a paycheck.
That's right. And they represent us.
And for them, they might as well have taken the throbbing middle finger and put it in our face of all the voters in there. Just like when Dan did that song about how dumb, he did a song about how dumb the voters of Nye County were because he didn't get reelected. Well, guess what? It's because you did a bad job. and you're a jerk. That's why. So let's move on. So we got some good things going. I bought a home in Mountain Falls, and I'm real happy. I'm real happy there. I'm comfortable. You were there yesterday.
Yeah.
It's getting there, yeah.
Beautiful house.
And so right now I have a house next to the Love Ranch, and I love it, but it's 20 minutes out. And sometimes I want to be in town. I want to get up in the morning. I need to do a TV show in Vegas. I can shoot right in. So I'm redecorating this house, and we're going to start having spaghetti feeds. I called the people from Pete's Meats today.
Oh.
I love Pete's Meats.
Right.
Do you next to Big Five? In fact, I want to get Tricia in here because I like them. They're nice people. Because I think their barbecue is superb, and I love barbecue. I'm that guy that's at Red Sky all the time, and I love their barbecue. I love Pete's Meats barbecue, and their brisket's outrageous. I took the chef from the Food Network TV show Chopped and had their barbecue at Pete's Meats. She loved it. She loved it. So I'm going to get them in here to talk about it. I might have them come over and cater an event.
Oh, yeah, at the house.
At the house.
And invite people to come. You mentioned that in the last show.
The Hell's Kitchen chefs have agreed to come in and do appetizers some night for me.
Oh, that would be
so, and I want you all to come back. And the way to know about these events is real simple. DennisHoff.com. DennisHoff.com. DennisHoff. Now, I'm going to say this 100 times until you just go on there every day. And I want you to sign up for the newsletter because I'm going to be having events. And you're not going to know about them unless you do that. Now, here's the events that are coming up. Number one, Grover Norquist, Americans for Tax Reform. The tax tiger, the fighter, the Muhammad Ali of taxes. Ronald Reagan's guy. They formed Americans for Tax Reform together. He's the tax champion, and he's coming out to support me again. Thrilled to death. I was with him last week in northern Nevada, and he's coming out to support me. Then also, we're supposed to wrap up a date today for Joe Arpaio.
Oh, I can't
Sheriff
believe
Joe.
Oh,
If you don't like
my
Sheriff
guy.
Joe,
My guy.
the best thing that Donald Trump did,
Was pardon him.
pardon him.
I know.
He pardoned him. It's like, no, you're not doing this. We're pardoning.
It was the best.
So we love Joe. Joe's a fan. He calls himself my director of security at the ranch. He wears a robe. Him and his wife wear robes.
Oh,
And
that's great.
he's a great guy. He's a great old Italian, I'm half Italian. She's all Italian. So you're all Italian, right?
No, half.
Only half?
Yeah,
Okay, me too.
thank
So Joe's coming out. Roger Stone today said, Dennis, when can I come out? So we're looking for October for these events. I'm meeting with Oscar Goodman tomorrow. I'm going to see if Oscar wants to come out.
Love Oscar.
Yeah, I love him
he's
too.
Great. He's a great guy.
And
Known him for years.
it's sad that Fox News won't let their people support a candidate because Tucker Carlson wants to come out so bad.
Yeah.
Tucker wrote a chapter in my book, which is a bestseller, which is going to be a movie. So anyway, we got events coming up, DennisHoff.com. Check it out. I want you to come to my house. We're going to do things like meet your commissioner. So Deborah Strickland and I
Up on a break, Dennis.
will host something. We'll be back with you in a few minutes and carry this on. I hope you're having as much fun as we are. I'm having fun.
Yeah, me too.
All right,
We
we're
have a lot
going to have a
to
lot
talk
more fun, lots to talk about. See you in a minute.